Hey, it's a Scotch Test Dummies. We got a Scotch Malt Whiskey Society new release.
It's cold outside. I was rubbing.
4.226.
4.226, 5.7525.
It is.
Feel like
Smoked
that was
Plum Lemonade.
Unbelievable. How'd you do that?
Let's test it.
Test it!
All right, I'm Scott.
Woo! Bart here. Well, I've got 166.
165.
Wow. Also, I wanted to note, I've got the original, edition 1 with the dummies and the logo.
I got our new 3rd edition.
I got a
Glen Cairn, available at ScotchTestDummies.com. That's all we'll say about that.
Boom,
Scotch Malt Whiskey Society.
Woo! Love it.
Scotch God shout out first.
Yes. Yes. You got her.
Lynn Gillen. Guillen. Gillen? Gillen?
Yeah.
Commented on the Macallan double cask.
Okay.
That's a little, I mean, that one's been out for a while.
Right.
He says, I started to taste the Macallan 12-year double cask, but after the 4th glass, I started a party instead.
Ooh, way to go. That's a party in your glass.
That's one way to do it.
Got to make sure you pronounce glass.
I started to taste the Macallan 12-year double cask, but after a 4th glass, I started a party instead.
Yep. And then I said, that's a party in your glass.
It's like a glass hole.
Yes. Yes. Speaking of which, these society bottles do have a bit of a glass hole. Just throwing that out.
Yep. Okay, so recently, in the real world, just yesterday, we filmed on Sunday, April 1st.
Right. No joke.
We did a live stream
with Ben.
With Ben and the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society. Yes. He's known as Single Malt Alliance on Instagram.
Very German.
They sent us a bottle of the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society. It's a new offering coming out on the 3rd or the 4th. We'll try to get this review out to coincide with it.
Boom.
This is a Highland Park bottling.
Yes.
Which is designated by the 4.226.
Right. We will tell you that.
Yeah. Yes, we will.
Yeah.
4 means Highland Park. The .226 means this is the 226th cask that they have bought from Highland Park.
They are digging Highland Park. That's a lot of casks.
So this is a 12-year-old. It's from a refill sherry puncheon, and it's bottled at, do you remember?
62%.
64.5%.
Woo! I was low. And it's 60s. That is low. That is crazy.
This is, I mean, just because we've already tasted this, and a lot of you may have already watched the live stream, this is magnificent.
Smells good.
There is
strength.
There is a lot of peat. And I think you and Ben both said it's reminiscent of a traditional Highland Park, and I don't think it is. I mean, just because there's really a good peat presence on this. Well, most of the other Highland Parks that I've had, there's just a slight...
What's the serum they give Captain America to make him Captain America? Not that this is the weak version of Cap, but that cast strength, we'll just say it's a cast strength. Whenever you make something cast strength, in my opinion, but I really, really love cast strength. It's like the Schwarzenegger version. Cast strength could be called Schwarzenegger. I don't know where to go. There's a thing. I keep wanting to say I'll be back. I'll be back in cast strength, but that's terrible. What do you got?
I was trying to think of...
We're crazy Kansas Americans.
I was trying to think of his name from Commando. You could even call it, he got Matrixed, I think. Was it John Matrix?
Man. Wow. If you pulled that name, I would owe you $1. That would be impressive. All I remember is him jumping out of the plane while it was taxiing, and he free falls into the swamp, and he's okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, really? And then he realizes it's an international flight, and he's got, what, 12 hours to take care of business or something before it lands.
Peat.
Yeah.
Lemongrass.
You just went down a lovely 1986 memory for me. Yeah. That's perfect Americana.
Remember, Sully, when I promised to kill you last? That's right, Matrix, you did. I lied.
I remember that. Wow, that is good. And speaking of good for transition, so is this. Yeah. You're right. Lemongrass, malt,
like a lemon meringue almost as well.
Yeah, I could see the sweet
malt.
underlayment in there. You know, and the peat, this isn't like a peat-headed thing where the peat's climbing up and out. It's that, what did he call it? The Orkney peat? Is that what Ben had said? Yeah, and how it's a little more of a subtle, multi-dimensional peat, if I were to describe it that way. And so the nose.
Now I'll tell you too, refill. So refill sherry puncheon. It's had sherry, or it's had Scotch in it before. This is a refill. To me, the sherry influence really is light. I've never got the dark plums, you know, stuff like that. There's a nice sweetness that comes out with this, citrus sweetness, maybe some of the raspberries, stuff like that.
Well, that's kind of the interesting alchemy, because you just hit on it. A refill, I said it all Texas. Sorry, nothing against Texas. I said a refill sherry pungent. Am I saying it right? Pungent? But you're right. That means it's not its first time where it's going to have a lot more of that sherry influence. It's been used before, making everything a little bit more subtle, a little bit more in the back. What do you got on flavor?
Man, that is strong. That is hot. I can take little sips of it neat. It's astringent. There's oak. There's peat. There's a sweetness. I get like a almost a cross. I mean, there's a little bit of a cigarette peat and a campfire smoke.
I definitely get the campfire. Yeah, the ABV sparks you right on the forefront. Kind of says hello. It's more like a morning slap in the face with aftershave. Hello. That's kind of the. Ooh.
No, it's like when you're in bed sleeping and someone throws ice water on you. It's like that.
Oh. See, I think when you're shaving, you put that aftershave on, kind of like Home Alone.
Yeah.
Remember when he's like, wow, it just kind of wakes you up. We're still in the 80s, so I wanted to go right back into the 80s with Macaulay.
Sure. Macaulay Culkin.
Wow, he came far. Sorry. Poor kid.
I added a couple drops of water just because of the times that I've had this. I know this takes water very well. To me, the more water I add, the more of the sweetness that comes out from that sherry cask influence.
You know what? When this bottle I took home with me after the live show, and they mentioned right in there that adding water gives it some more dimension. I mentioned live. I love it. Love it. Neat. I've not added water. This will be the first time I'm adding water.
I've added a couple of drops. I'm going to even add more because it's still hot, but that sweetness is coming out more of the fruit, more of the citrus, a honeycomb.
Yeah,
that peat is still there.
I felt bad that I didn't try water live, because you have the rule, and I agree. Yeah. You add it in and see if it moves dimensionally.
You never added water when we were live, really? You just sat there,
kept her neat.
Really?
Yeah, kept her neat, baby. Yeah, I was loving it neat. I was really digging it.
No, it is. It's good, but it is strong. Yeah, water just really brings out more of the creaminess, and I still don't get the sherry influence, or the dark fruit influence from sherry. There's a very nice sweetness that comes in, and I think you can tell it's a wine.
It does change it up.
Influence.
That's interesting. That's a nice change up. Sidebar story that's kind of funny. So I get home, Liz sees it. I actually let her try some of this neat as well, where I've told her, you just, let a little saliva build up and just suck in just a little bit. Yeah. And she was like, wow, that is nice. So she's got down on how to gently try something at cast strength. But then do you know what happened next?
No.
I mentioned to her that in the live show we reviewed this. Yeah, this and a rum, which is sitting right back there. And she did the deal where like she cocked her head, and I'm like, what? And she's like, why didn't you bring the rum one home? I'm like, well, this is...
You said I wasn't thinking about you, honey.
Yeah, that was the problem. That's where this goes, because I'm like, well, this is so delicious, and it's peated. And she's like, I would love to try the rum one. I'm from Puerto Rico. And I was like, yeah, it was Nicaraguan rum that was 18 years old. And she was like moved, and I'm like, what? She's like, I go, oh, and I quickly text you, and I'm like, I'm gonna need a sample.
So I did more. I brought in the whole bottle. I said, here, this will, this will make the wife happy.
Right.
Rather than a sample, here's the bottle. She'll enjoy it more. It is a good rum.
Oh.
It's probably the best rum I've had.
Oh my God.
I'm sure she'll enjoy it.
Yes,
more.
I will. We will let you know later.
Yeah.
I'll do the follow.
It'll help you out.
I will. Yeah, because I'll be like, she'll be like, oh, you can buy as much whiskey as you want from the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society as long as you give me some rum now and then. I'm like, okay. Because she's got a rule. If I buy a lot of whiskey, I got to get her some. She loves sweet wine. So I think she is going to like that rum. She likes the sweeter drinks.
I've added quite a bit of water, at least four different drops. And right now it's perfect. It's still high, though. It's probably 46 to 48%. Marshmallow cream sweetness.
Marshmallow cream.
Vanillas and
get
citrus.
that meringue that you were talking about, that fluffiness, that sweet fluffiness, the marshmallow. The finish, that peat, that Orkney peat smoked finish. It's subtle, it's smooth, yet it's still strong and present. A bit of the earthiness. And again, sometimes I'll describe peat by saying what it isn't. This isn't a ashtray finish. It's not a leather finish for me, for my palate. It's that subtler, sweeter, earthy smokiness that is different from Islay. I agree with your 92, but I'm saying 93 because I'm giving it that bump because of cask strength. And it's so unique. And I know there's limited bottles and you got to be a member. But this is where I think the beauty shines through with independent bottling overall. It's a unique experience.
The one thing we didn't bring up also, they put on the label, this is one of 627 bottles.
Yeah.
The Scotch Malt Whiskey Society is also doing a new deal with color coding of their whiskeys. And the stripe on the label, we learned during the live stream, they move it from the right-hand side of the label to the left side to show you, if you are doing a tasting, where your bottles should line up. So the bottles with the stripe on the right should be towards the front of your tasting, and then as you move towards, your fourth, your fifth, your sixth bottle, the stripe should be moving like over to the left.
You read in English at least left to right. So the further left is the earlier something should start, and the further right is the further in the line it should be. And peats, generally you want them near the end of a tasting. So if we had a bunch of Scotch Malt Whiskey Society bottles out here, you could just throw them up on the table and say, oh, look, okay, this one would go near the end, unless we have something even peatier, and then maybe it falls even further behind to the right. I like that, and I had no idea about that at all. And I think that's neat. So visually, it just kind of tells you where it's going to line up. I found that intriguing, actually.
Yeah,
it's kind of nerdy, but I love it.
Do you want to talk about, is it worth it? Since this was sent to us. This was, I think Ben said, is going to be $125.
Which is...
And I don't think you'd be disappointed at all. If I bought this for that, I wouldn't be disappointed in it at all.
Right. No, even more so, because here's the deal. And I for long-time viewers, you Scotch gods, I like younger peats anyway. And a lot of the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society peats sometimes are older and even more expensive, into the 200s. And I personally shy away from some of those because the peat is going to be more subtle generally, although I haven't tried some of those older expressions. And I like a strong peat forward. So when you do two things, you get a little bit younger, 12 years, wonderful, and the cost comes down a little bit in general. So I just know my personal peat palate. So if you like the refined, more subtle peats, you can even get the 18s, I think even 21s and 25s sometimes. But the cost also goes up. So extremely affordable for a cask strength 12-year. Yeah, I'm super, super pleased. So yes, affordable. Yes, you got to be a member. Oh, I think we're putting it on here. Ben had referenced there is a like a discount card for Scotch Test Dummies.
Discount code.
Yeah, code. Yeah, you put in Scotch Test Dummy, right?
If you're new to the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society and you register, there'll be a comment section and just comment Scotch Test Dummies, and they'll send you a code for $25 off of your first bottle purchase.
Yeah, Scotch Malt Whiskey
Society, U.S. only.
Because they are different branches, so that is in the U.S. only. Got to put that out. And maybe we'll get this down in the description, but we're explaining here as well. I thought that was neat.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I like to pass value on to the viewer. So,
we're going to tie in our traveling dummy with Patreon this week. So, John Post, we had commented that John had said we sent out a Patreon card to our Patreon supporters.
Thank you.
When we hit 1 million views.
Yes.
John had commented he had it on his fridge next to the kids' grade cards, and the girlfriend or the wife wanted to know who these guys were that were on the fridge.
Real clear. We should almost say wife, just to make sure. You'd be like, girlfriend.
We don't know.
Okay,
I think we're safe.
His significant other.
Someone commented.
Okay, got
it. So John sent a picture of our Patreon card on his fridge next to the kid's postcard. There it is, or grade card.
Grade card, yeah. Is the child getting good grades?
Well,
can you see it?
No,
should we block it out? We should probably block it out.
He's got it. He doesn't have the where you can see the name. He
is smart.
Yeah,
but we're right on the fridge.
Yep.
And for those of you, I've still got cards left over. I've been the one sending these out. If you become a Patreon member, you can do it for as little as $1 a month. You'll still get a card if you want one, because we do have to have a mailing address to send it to you. So not everybody wanted to give us their mailing address. We keep all that confidential. Nobody else gets it. And it's going to lead toward Christmas cards. We're going to put out funny Christmas cards around the holidays.
Okay, I have that we need to do a shout out to Brent Murphy, and we have his picture. This is Brent Murphy. He's a $3 supporter.
Super Scotch.
Brent Murphy! Oh, Brent!
Woo! They call him the Murph.
The Murph. That's right. Thank you, Murph.
Or just Murph. Yeah.
Picture with his wife, girlfriend, significant other.
I believe he said wife. Now I'm confused, though. That's up there. Yeah. So if you're a $3 supporter, again, your option, but we will put up a photo if you want. We will shout your name. You get that at the $2
You know what? We didn't warn Raster that was coming.
Oh, Raster's pissed right now. We just broke an eardrum. Raster's like, dang it. You know what Raster's going to have to do to feel better? Go out with his father and do some snowmobiling right before the season ends. He sent this cool shot. Where was he?
Was that
Vermont?
Raster?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Raster. I think he's in Vermont.
Yeah,
Was it Vermont or
Northeast?
Maryland? Yeah, it was somewhere. And it looked cool. Have you ever snowmobiled? Me neither. I had the option once.
I've learned, though, that actually people that use them all the time where it snows a lot don't call them snowmobiles. They're called snow machines.
Wow. I would have called it a snow sled.
It's a snow machine.
A snow machine.
That's what I heard from someone from Wisconsin.
Wow. A snow machine.
Yeah.
Not mobile.
Right.
Sounds tougher. I'm going out of my mobile. Really? Yep. Like the little thing hanging above a baby.
The thing is, they have, and I've heard there's some of the smaller towns. You go far north where it snows. Snows. Each town there's like 10 bars. Even small towns there's just bars.
Really?
But it's all like snowmobile parking, snow machine parking. Like you go, there's just people ride the snow machines to the bars because it's just so snowy.
Can you get a DUI on a snow machine?
I bet you can. You can on a bike. I bet you can on a snow machine.
That would be terrible. What are you in here for, Bob? Oh, I was riding a snow machine after having a bunch of Scotch Malt Whiskey Society. Drink responsibly.
I ran over Bob's cat with a snow machine.
Drink responsibly. It was a cooler. All right. Sorry. We went down a rabbit hole. Scotch It. You Scotch guys.
So on you.
Dummies.